welcome to our digital conference, Digitalization of Culture, day number 5. We are talking about this, we open the conference talking about the African German Phrasebook, an app for African languages. And I'm going to welcome Jules, my colleague Jules. Now he switched off the camera. I wanted to welcome you. Good morning. And also I would like to welcome our guest. Jules, your mic is unmute. Maybe you can, we can just start.
Morning, Detlef. Okay, thank you very much, Detlef, for inviting me to this very interesting sessions of information about the digitalization of the cultures as a whole. So my name is Jules Koche, as you said. I'm responsible of the library, of the section Library and Information of the Goethe-Institut in Cameroon. So I started as a teacher of German as foreign languages, and I, with the time, got very interested in the field of libraries. So that's why I got lucky to finally be integrated in the library domain, and now I'm very delighted to work in this field. And what makes me particularly enjoy this field is the various different point of views and point of activities where we work on. It goes from being in contact with people as well as working in very state-of-the-art technologies. And one of the field we are working now is developing or actualizing this African German Phrasebook app, of which I'm going to tell you today. So, where does the African German Phrasebook originated from? It started 2008 in a series of activities of the Goethe-Institut, where we got interested with the fact that many African languages do not have access to the technology. So when you go on Wikipedia or on the internet as a whole, it's very difficult to have content in some or in many African languages. So that's why we initiated a series of reflections on how to integrate more African languages in these technologies. Many ideas came out, and one of the most ideas was how to develop apps that permits people to use their languages. Another aspect is the Goethe-Institut is the German cultural operators in most of the foreign countries, and the most thing we do is teach German languages. And in our context, we find out that many of the German learners or many of the learners of German as foreign languages do not speak French and English very well as they speak their mother tongues. But French and English were the language from which they learn German, and they didn't have this opportunity to learn German directly from their mother tongues. And one of the reflections of this African German Phrasebook also was to give them that possibilities. And this is what we are working on now, and we are trying to develop the app even more. And I will come back to it as we speak about the app itself. So, speaking about the app at the beginning was to be a compounding of phrases, of day-to-day phrases people currently use, and to translate them, to have them in German and translate them in various African languages. So that is what the app now basically does. And at the beginning, the app was limited to 51 languages, 50 African languages and German. So 51 languages, and the the scope of the phrases were very limited since the phrases were to be incorporated in the app. So what we are doing now, we are trying to relaunch the app and making it and trying to expand it even more. And that's why we are trying now to create a database where the language data will be stored, and the app will be we just have the function of retrieving the information upon request of the various users. So that's basically what the app does now, and we are having some more challenges now achieving that goal. I just told them, yes, even if we are still on the construction, it's a good idea to come and speak about the app for now, so you people will have an idea on what the app is intended to, and when it will be released, then you will not be surprised of it. And the other advantage of you knowing about the app when it's being constructed is to be able to bring your input as it's being constructed. So at the end, when you know more about the app, you will be welcome to make some suggestion and say or ask some more questions on how it will work and how it will evolve, and maybe bring your input on how it could look like. That's why I decided to come in this session and speak about the app, even if it's not yet released, and even if you cannot go on the App Store now or Google on the Play Store and download it. But that will be possible very, very soon. So speaking about the app, if I would try to show you my screen now to show you a bit how the app functions. There are some functionalities that were working yesterday or the day before yesterday, and that's not working today because, as I told you, the app is under construction. There's a fix, or there's a bug we were fixing yesterday, and unfortunately, while fixing that bug, it disabled some other functions, and our developer is currently working on it now. I hope by now it's restored, and if it's not, I will just explain to you what it is intended to do, and maybe I can play the separated files for you to understand how it would work like, and then to permit you more to give your reflection, to ask your questions, or to make your suggestions. So let me show you my screen. Detlef, I hope you can see my screen. If it's not the case, please let me know.
No, we can see. It's fine. Please go ahead.
So great. So the app is like this one. The app you are seeing there on my screen is this AGPB, for standing for African German Phrasebook. And so when you launch the app now, you have to select a category in which you want the phrases for. So the phrases are categorized, and you see it in German. Erster Kontakt is the category of the first contacts with someone. When you get in touch with someone, the first contact, what are the phrases? What are the expressions you use for those situations of conversation? And this verabreden is to agree on the rendezvous. So what are the expressions you use for that? Zahlen are the numbers. Wochentage are the days of the week. Monate are the months. Uhrzeiten, time meaning the time you have on the clock. Wetter is now the weather. Bitten und danken is so, how do we say it? So to ask for something with courtesy and say thank you. Nach dem Weg fragen is to ask for your way. Im Restaurant is in the restaurant. Einkaufen, einkaufen, sorry, my phone just rang now. I forgot to, sorry. Einkaufen is shopping. Gesundheit is health, and miscellaneous. So let's take, I just took that last one just by mistake. Let's start from the beginning here. So when you select a category, now the app would ask you to select to select a language, as you can see up there, and it gives you the opportunity to select two languages. So if I select one language, you will see, if you see on my screen, I've already downloaded all the languages because I'm testing. But if you've not yet downloaded a language, you go on these points at the upper right of the screen. Then you click on it. Then it will show you some features, among which the download function of the languages. So if you click on the download, normally it would show you the list of languages. So as you can see now, it has some error fetching the languages error and so on. So this is the problem I just told you previously. So what it would download the languages, it will show you the list of languages. And now what our developer is working on is, one thing was to list the languages in the alphabetical order, because we will have as much language as possible. So the last release he sent to me, I had the languages mixed all on a very disordered way. So I asked him to firstly list those languages in an alphabetical order, and secondly, to make a search function for the language so that any user can come and will not spend a lot of time identifying the language that is suitable for him. So that's what one thing he has been working on this day, and I'm sure it is that activity that has tampered with some of the functions. But nonetheless, I will just move on and explain to you what we are intending to do. So if you select a language, normally it would display all the expressions from the German and from the language you have selected, and you have the possibility, depending on how you place your screen. If you place your screen horizontally, you will have two African languages displayed, because my screen now is horizontally, because I decided to do this session on my tablet, because it was I couldn't sort the technical issues with sharing my tablet screen. So I decided to show to twin in here on my tablet. So my tablet is horizontally, so that's why you can see two proposal of languages. Let me look for Africans. So now you can have you can now have two languages displayed. So another thing I asked our developer is that once the language the category is selected, the German expression should be displayed immediately, and before the selection of the other languages. And the German language is set to be downloaded automatically as soon as you completed the installation of the app. The package, the German package, comes automatically. So the app is now designed to give you the words or the writings and the sound. So that's the design we have now. So if you see here the icon in front of the German, that's another fixes that has to be done. It was already done. I don't know why it is not completely. Normally, this is an icon of a speaker with a sound on it, because now it's just a speaker, there is no sound. So That's something I would clarify again with our developer. And the icon has to be in front of all the languages. Normally, if you click
I don't know if we lost our speaker. Jules, we can't hear you anymore. Yeah, you are unmuted. Some technical problem, Jules. Your mic is unmute. Jules, we can't hear you. Your mic is unmute. I see that you continue explaining. I think he can't hear me. Let me just, I must interrupt your screen sharing. Jules?
yes.
Sorry, Jules, I had to take you out because we could not hear you anymore. And it might be that
Okay.
you could not hear us. So the moment, yeah, when you clicked somewhere, then your sound was gone. We could still see the screen, but we could not hear you, and your mic was mute.
So you could not hear me from the point where I clicked on the language features.
Yes, yeah. Maybe we can try it again.
Yes. Yes. As I told you, the language features now, they will not, no sound will come out, because I've tried it longer. Even early this morning, I tried, and I was surprised that the language sound could not come out again. So
we
so
will
for
hear
me,
some
it would be good.
Namibian languages later, and which I can just play for a few seconds. That's not a problem.
Yes, I also included that. So, but you can do it from your end. That's not a problem. So,
yeah.
As I was telling you, there are some features that I showed you on the app. Let me come back to my screen. So, I hoping you can hear me. So as I was telling you, the Delef, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. That's fine. Continue. It's good.
Great. So as I was telling you, I hope you heard when I told you that if you have your screen horizontally, you can have 2 languages, and it can also help you learning another language, or knowing another language, African language from an African language, and the German language will just be on the side. So some of the features now are the download functions, the settings, where you can set the function, the language app, or the app of the language of the app. So you can choose between German, French, or English. And the reflection may also be, could it be that the language of the app is all the languages could be selected in the languages that are used in the African German Phrasebook, that we could see. We could argue or debate on that and see which option is the best. So on the privacy policy, is the app does not do more than have access of your storage. That's so just to store the language the data that that you have to download, or the app itself to be stored in your phone. It doesn't collect any. It collects your preferences. It means it stored your preferences, because we are setting the app in such a manner that if you select a language here, like Douala, and I don't know Afrikaans, where is it? That like that, the app should store it for you, because at this state now, every time you come back, you have to select the language again. I don't think it's user friendly that way. So I asked our developer to do it the way that when you have this selection, it should stay until you change it again. You change it. It should always store the last preference of the user. But we on our side, we do nothing with it. We don't collect that. We just store it for your friendly use, not that we collect it for any purpose. No. So about the app, as I told you at the beginning, I told you the previous background of the app. But if you would like to know more, if you click on the app, it links you to our website, where we talk about the app itself. If you can show, so the African German Phrasebook of the website of the Goethe-Institut. We are still working on it. It is not the updated informations. We are working on it as we are developing the app further. So Detlef, maybe I will stop sharing my screen for you to run some African, no, some Namibian languages contributions that you have collected from now, and I will explain to you shortly before Detlef you show us why the Namibian languages are not yet updated here. We asked the contributions, and for the contributions, there are a set of expression that has to be translated in writings and in sound. And to facilitate the work, to make the work from the contributors easier, we decided to let them record the expression as in one run. So when it comes to us, we now have the responsibility to split the expression and integrate them in the writings. So we are working on that now. We have now 7 Namibian languages, and Detlef would in his presentation tell us about the Namibian languages. Detlef?
Yeah, the first language that was already in the old version integrated was Oshikwanyama. Oshikwanyama is the most spoken African nature language here in Namibia. About 50% of the people of Namibian people Oshiwambo. Oshiwambo has got 2 branches. The one is Oshikwanyama, the other one is Oshindongo. And so you will hear the first through my app as well. My favorite sentence is this one. Just let me know if you can hear it nicely. No, my sound was off. Wie weit ist es bis zum Busbahnhof? So, that's the German version. And for our viewers also maybe in Afrikaans. Where is the bus station? So, and now we have got the Oshikwanyama version. You can hear that my favorite sentence, because the way in Oshikwanyama is way longer to the bus station than in German or in English. Yeah. Could you hear it? Was that fine?
Okay.
Yeah. So now, beginning of the year already, we started with the call for application to integrate other languages. we have in Namibia, we have 11 different languages. German is one of them, actually. And so we found people could translate this 150 sentences in Khoikhoi Govap. In Oshikwanyama, we made we had a newer version of Oshikwanyama. In Oshindonga, in Ochiherero, then we have a version in Rukul and in Timbuktu. So maybe if I share my screen, then you can hear a few sentences in Khoikhoi. Let me just share. Not forget to switch on the sound.
Oui, Yaoundes ngadaging anha. Tida ke a tlonga au. Tida ke chio the Institute Tavara Sisen.
You see that I understood. He was asking in Khoikhoi Govap, where is the way to the Goethe-Institut? And okay, another language. Just switch through the languages.
Hi there, my name
that
is
was the
Festus
wrong
Nambu.
file. Sorry.
Oarara
No.
Oshiwete ongura, otashi mono ongura. Oshike ano. Oriengono. Otashi mono kongurohi.
That is Oshindonga. And the next one. Now, Ochi Herero. You will hear Ochi Herero.
Hello, Moro. Hello. Kora. Ovipevipi. Enaranje opol. Badako Berlin. Bikara Moyaunde. Ami Omitiri. Biungurapo Goethe-Institut.
So again, that was the sentence to where is the Goethe? I think that's a sentence. Where is the Goethe-Institut? And next language, Rukwangali. Which I can't find now. Shame, I can't find Rukwangali now, sorry. That will take a bit too long.
Yeah. I think it could be sufficient if you mention that it would be in the Phrasebook when it's released.
But now I would like to listen to another language, Setswana, because we have the translator from this language among other viewers, and maybe we can give him also the floor, talking about his experience while he was translating the language. So let's just hear Setswana.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Sia. This is what call me Sean as well. So oh, are you playing the Setswana version now?
Yes, let me first play.
All right.
Dumelang. Wareng. Outing. Leina la me ke Paul. Ke tswa Berlin. Ke nna mo Yaounde. Ke morutabana. Ke berekela ko Goethe-Institut.
Okay. Sosian, now tell us a little bit about the translation. How long does it take actually to translate? How long were you working on it? And did you find it a challenge? Was it difficult, or what? Tell me about your experience.
Yes, the experience was quite a little bit of fun because since it's a my native language, So I found it, I think like I did it in 2 days, right? In a day to just write everything. And then the next day I had to do some audio, and then I had to do some correction of the audio because there was a little bit of noises there and there. But besides that, it was such a fun and a smooth training that I did, and I'm very grateful for the contribution as well.
Okay, the Setswana language that you translated, you did it actually from English to Setswana. Is this correct?
Yes, yes, I did the version from English to Setswana. Yes.
Can you remember some words that were difficult to translate?
Yeah. There were quite a little bit of some words that were difficult to translate, like the food. Some of the food, we don't have them in Setswana, and so it was a little bit of a challenging there and there. But we had to find the one that were mostly similar, that they meant the same thing. I mean, that was the main challenging that I experienced. Yes.
To make the translation, yeah, international. Yeah, that's correct. I also saw that we some kind of food or you don't have in certain areas of Africa, but you have it in Cameroon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and so where is this language spoken, Setswana, in Namibia and out of the borders of Namibia? Where do you speak your language?
Yes, Setswana is mostly originated from Botswana, right? And mostly it's spoken in the Omaheke region. Omaheke region, that is the east part of Namibia. We are almost like closer to Namibian, Botswana border. That's where you can most find Setswana language. And then it's mostly even spoken currently or officially in Namibia. We have a radio station for Setswana. We also have schools for Setswana. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know how many people overall speak this language?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of people that speaks Setswana. We also have the Bahero, some of the Bahero that actually came from Botswana to coming back to Namibia. So they all speak Setswana, and there we have also the Botswana themselves originate from Namibia. So I can say it's almost like 20% of the population that speaks Setswana.
Okay, thank you very much to give you this view from a translator, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed translating it, and actually I enjoyed working with you together. Thank you very much again for your effort. And back to Jules. Jules, now since the 7 Namibian languages are coming into the app, is the app still open for other languages? Like, for example, we have languages there are where I don't find the translator yet for Siloso, or what happens if, I mean, I expect not all the languages already that you speak in Africa on the app. Is it still open for other languages?
Okay, sorry, I got interrupted somewhere when you were explaining, but what I got as question is if the app is still open for other questions. If I can just answer that, that would be okay, good. So the app is still open for other languages, and our intention is to have the more or even not all languages in the app, because the project is even wider than the simple than the simple Phrasebook, because this is just the first phase. The next phase to come is to transform it into a cross-lingual or an interlingual dictionary completely, where we will not only have the phrases, but we'll also have the words, the single words as the entries. And in this perspective, we are working with Wikidata. And Wikidata is this wonderful platform of the Wikimedia Foundation, where it compounds all sorts of information from numbers or statistical data to names, authors, and to language resources. And we want to integrate the African language resources in Wikidata because the aim is bigger. The bigger aim of this is, how do we make AI, artificial intelligence, in the language field possible with the African languages? And the first step of this is to gather the language resources. And if you don't have the resources, you cannot really implement it. The Google map voices that gives you the direction fetches those language information from a database. And the African languages are really absent from those databases. And we thought the first steps to those bigger projects are to gather the language resources. And the linguists call it a corpus. So the project is even bigger than this, and all languages are welcome. So to answer to give an answer, direct answer to your question, we welcome every African language for now, because it's an African German Phrasebook. We welcome every African language now in the app, either in this previous version of the phrases and the next phase to come, that we will use the dictionary. And maybe to show you what we intend to do in the next step, the next step we are doing now after releasing this app is to make this dictionary. If you know Leo dictionaries, many people who learn German as foreign language must know that dictionary because it has become very popular. Leo combines German and most of the European languages. So if you are learning German from Turkey or from Russia, you can go to Leo and put German Russian, and then you can search for the words. That's the next step we want to achieve. And we would like to, now we are using a database released or owned by how would I say it? I'm sure, I don't know, it should be either Amazon or some another provider. But that's not our direction. We want to go in the open access, where all those data are stored in the database where every single person can access. And the best one now is the Wikidata. And if you go on Wikidata, you access all the language resources. Now our contributors are working in transferring these data into Wikidata. And when it's ready, this data will be fetched from Wikidata directly. And everyone who would like to develop another type of project with those resources are free to access to those language resources. And the intention at the end of it all is to have full dictionaries where every African speaking its language can get there if they decide to contribute. If the language community decides to contribute, the members of the community can get there and look for every single word in their language. And if the word is missing, you're free to add it. And that's what makes Wikidata amazing from that. If the word is missing, you add the words, you add your words of your languages, and now your language will be digitalized. And any kind of project, we can have access to those languages and work from it. So that's the direction we are getting to. So we decided to relaunch this app from the previous version we had, and not only relaunch it to make this previous use possible, but to extend it from a dictionary and to a very wide repository of our language resources. And then every kind of project can use those data. And my main target is AI. I don't know, we are speaking of AI everywhere, and I don't think any African language is concerned. I don't know any African language concerned in AI now. Maybe I have to update myself on the state of the art. I've not been looking up from that since the beginning of the year, but that's the intention
Yeah,
now.
I know there are some projects in Cape Town about EI and African languages, but wow, it's a big target you have got.
Yeah, that's the target. And the intention now is now the Goethe-Institut is the one launching or monitoring the project. And my intention is in the next year to come, maybe a group of people, I don't know, an NGO can take that, because you know the funding from the Goethe-Institut, I don't think it's eternal. It stops somewhere. And for me, it's not wise to start such a project and stop it somewhere. I think if an NGO takes over and look for another funds elsewhere, I think it will be okay. So the intention is to start the project and give it the wings to fly on its own.
Great. That sounds very, very good. Wow. Okay, Jules. Looking at the time, we're coming nearly to the end, but we still have some time to add some last comments, or let our guests speak. Maybe Cian or FJ, they do have some questions, and we can open the Q&A session, depending on your questions. Yeah. Not at the moment. Yeah, okay. Cian, it's your floor.
Yes. May I ask, like, what is the estimated date for this app to be launched?
Okay, for the estimated date for me, now I will say the end of this month. I expected the launch. I expected the launch since even at the beginning of this month, but the challenges we are having, many activities were not only related to us; they were related to some other players, and the players were not ready to do the activity on time. So we waited a lot for those things to be done. And when it was done, we still have some challenges understanding the platforms and so on, because we are working with the Wikimedia community in Cameroon, and they have been working most of the time on Wikidata. And now, since the application had to be stored in another database, and a commercial database, it was difficult for them to cope with it. And with some 2 weeks, they managed to understand how the system works, and now are very busy implementing the app. That's why the app has been delayed for so long. But since the things are in our hands now, I can foresee the launch of the app by the end of this month.
Let me just add to this, Jules. I think you said end of this month. Maybe we can agree that we managed to let the app work end of this month. But since then, the whole Southern Africa goes on holiday, that we can launch officially the app beginning of next year in January, while then the app itself or the function should be ready by end of this month. Maybe that sounds good, so that we will not disappoint Cian and people. They're waiting for the relaunch of the app this year to be sure that everything is working. Yeah. But
okay. And then the last question is like, the app seems to be like more of, on the residential basis, right? Have we actually the restaurants that I mean our customers who are actually going to use the app?
I'm not sure I got the question. I had the sound.
I'm saying the app it seems to actually focus on the restaurant, I mean restaurant places, right? Like, and then I'm asking, like, have we actually identified the customers who are going to use this app? Probably in
like which
Namibia or
features?
Sorry?
Could you name an example of features we can add, please?
Oh, I mean, like, because I'm saying because the app is mostly because of it's going to be used by people in restaurants, right? So I'm
Restaurants.
asking,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, have we actually
maybe how
identified the customers who are,
yeah.
the customers
How
who are
I
actually going
under
to use?
sorry, just finish, then I'm add my comment.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. No, as far as I understood your question, you said that the app or the 150 phrases we were using is from a view from, let's say, from a German tourist who is going to Africa, asking for the way, going to the restaurant and getting the first contact. And then Sian was asking, but who is the customer using it? Is that only the German tourist, or is that maybe a Namibian who's going to Cameroon, or South African going to Kenya as well? Or is that more or less the question you were asking? I think
Yes,
so.
yes, that is the question I was asking.
Yes, you may see it like that, and it also appears like that from the beginning when you see there's German and the African languages. But the features that combines, that makes possible to display three languages, goes from that point of view to say, if you are coming from Namibia to Cameroon and you would like to know how to ask for time, and then you go in the future of time, and then you click on it, and then you will see the equivalent in another African language. From that perspective, it goes above the features designed from a German tourist. So it makes it possible from the German perspective. It also makes it possible from the African perspective. You see, that's the idea behind it. But if you think there are some other expressions that is more familiar from Africans, between Africans, that could also be possible to integrate. But the idea is, if you think we can, the expression may be extended depending on which input are there, which inputs are which additions are necessary for the app to serve its purpose.
And we must not forget, it's just like a beginning when you're talking about your big target. And it's always good to have something to start with and then to extend. Yeah. There are two other questions.
Yeah, the target is okay.
Is this app available right now? That's one question.
Okay, I think I already give an answer to that. Available now? No, you will not have this app for now in the Play Store. No, you will not have it now. The one I'm showing now is the APK to check to see if the features is working the way I want and so on. That's the one I have now. And since we are still working on it, I release the APK to targeted people for the purpose of improving the app. So
the APK is the file.
Of you think he wants to see more and see what is a file. Is a file you store directly from your phone, and then you trigger you install. So
yeah, the file that's been needed for the app.
Now, yeah, we just have the APK file now running amongst us for critics and comments.
Another question was, does the app work offline, or must you be always on Wi-Fi?
that's one of the critical issues we had. The app must work offline. Everything we are designed for now should be possible to work offline in this project, because everyone has a permanent internet connection. So the idea is when you go in the app, if you select a language, you completely download the language file completely, and there's a possibility to update it. So if we update, or if we add more expressions, as said in the previous question, we add it and then we make it possible to update the language file. So you completely download it and you can use it now offline. So yes, the language, the app is designed to work offline, but you need to get online to download the language file.
Okay, so one, you download it, and then you must download the language file you need, and then you can work offline. That's very good to hear. Jules, I see our line is getting a bit unstable. You got several times now for a few seconds frozen, but we could still follow you and hear you. Maybe that's just a sign that we should close this session, but not before I ask again for some last questions. And if that is not the case, then I would like to give you the last word, Jules.
Okay, thank you. I'll close by saying thank you to invite me to this session. And as I said offline, I said I hope this is the last sessions I'm speaking about the African German Phrasebook in the theoretical way. So I would like, by the next time I'm speaking about the African German Phrasebook, I'll actually tell you, please go online, download it, and then let's navigate through it together. So I hope this is the last time I'm speaking about it this way. And the next time we should be speaking about it with the factual data. So I thank you very much to give me another opportunity to speak about the African German Phrasebook. And as I said, feel free to bring your input here. Every input, every comment, every point of view is welcome. And if you like to have me, please, if I could share my screen for the last time, if it's possible. You go on the website of the Goethe-Institut, Belgium here. Good. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Can you?
Yes, please go ahead. We can see.
Now this connection. Yes. So I wanted to show you how you get through my contacts. It's easy. If you go on the African German Phrasebook, if you go at Goethe-Institut here, about us, yeah, connection problems. If the connection allows. Good.
Okay, we can see. So meaning
you can see?
Yeah, we can see the screen, yeah. So it is goethe.de/Cameroon, written in English, no? Cameroon. And then you follow the step-by-step.
In English, French, or English?
French or English, or German even. Yeah. Good. Then now we've lost the contact. No, it's still there. Then Jules, I thank you very much for this session. And your phone is mute. And thank you very much, Sien. Oh, now what? How do you pronounce your surname? Tichonge.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Shihongi.
Thank you very much for you also joining us and give us the view from a translator of African German Phrasebook.